Overcome with rage and pain following the death of his mother Shmi, Anakin would of course unleash his wrath upon the camp of Tusken Raiders where she was held captive. As Anakin unleashed his fury, his pain was of such a serious magnitude that it was sensed by Yoda. Despite Anakin being on Tatooine, Yoda, who was in deep meditation upon Coruscant, felt a sudden surge of anger and outrage that couldn't be controlled. As we also saw in episode 2, Yoda understood that Anakin's rush of agony that accompanied the death of his mother also tapped into the spirit of Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, who Yoda also heard calling out to Anakin to end his rampage. While Yoda would explain to Jedi Master Mace Windu as he joined the Jedi Grand Master during his meditation that he felt suffering and death, and that something horrible had happened to cause Anakin terrible pain, it isn't clear in this scene whether Yoda made the connection between Anakin's pain and rage and the death of his mother on Tatooine. As we'll see, the Legends lore does demonstrate that both Obi-Wan and Yoda discovered that Shmi Skywalker had died during the period between Episode 2 and Episode 3. For example, while I don't believe it's included in the scene from the Revenge of the Sith film, the novelization does include Anakin referencing his mother's death to Obi-Wan, when the Jedi Master asked Anakin to spy on Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. But regardless of what the Jedi knew generally of Shmi's fate, our question is much more specific here. Did Yoda discover that Anakin's pain, anger, and what he determined was the overwhelming strength of his rage was connected to his mother's death? This is a far more important question in my opinion, because if Yoda did discover this connection, it would have to demonstrate to the Jedi Grand Master Anakin's struggle with attachment, and thus reveal a potential path with the dark side. Since this question isn't answered in the Episode 2 novelization, we'll look at the information revealed in the Legends novel Star Wars: The Clone Wars Wild Space, which in opening in the immediate aftermath of Attack of the Clones, does a great job of answering many of these questions for us. As we looked at in a recent video, given Anakin's defeat to Dooku and the continued recognition of the pain and suffering he felt from earlier, Yoda was deeply concerned about Anakin, sensing a future for the Jedi Padawan that he defined as troubled. And yet, Anakin's future was unclear, hidden by the dark side of the Force. But Yoda didn't completely dismiss these concerns or give up on Anakin at this point immediately after the Battle of Geonosis, as even though a galactic war had just erupted, the Chosen One remained one of Yoda's primary concerns. When Yoda returned to Coruscant following Geonosis to visit the injured Jedi within the temple's halls of healing, Yoda would learn that Padme had attempted to visit Anakin there as well, deeply concerned about Anakin's well-being and engaging in a heated exchange with the Jedi Temple's chief healer, Bokhara Che. With this, Yoda's spirit sank as he knew that Anakin's troubled future somehow also involved Padme. We recently looked at how this was important to Yoda's attempt to end Anakin and Padme's relationship at this point immediately after Episode 2, before they were even married, with their embrace on Geonosis acting as a catalyst for Yoda to investigate and understand exactly what was going on between them. But all of this is important for our question here too. Yoda sensing Anakin's terrible pain, the concern the Grand Master felt for him after his defeat to Dooku, and the obvious relationship the Padawan had with Padme allowed him to make an important conclusion. Anakin struggled with attachment far more than anyone on the High Council realized. And knowing Anakin's inability to let go of his attachments, Yoda then knew that the terrible pain and suffering he felt from Anakin through the Force, which led to an uncontrollable and sudden surge of rage, had to be connected to his mother Shmi. This is clear within the Wild Space novel, as when Yoda went to speak with Obi-Wan after he recovered from his own defeat to Dooku, while Yoda didn't know the whole picture in that Shmi had actually died, the Grand Master revealed what he felt during Episode 2 to Obi-Wan. With Yoda now confident that Anakin struggled with attachments to both his mother and Padme, Yoda confronted Obi-Wan by suggesting that he hadn't always been strict about attachments with Anakin, and holding nothing back in telling Obi-Wan that it was this leniency that resulted in Anakin traveling to Tatooine to visit his mother against his master's direct instructions. At this point, most of these details were unknown to Obi-Wan, and he would become even more disheartened when Yoda told him that he feared something happened to Shmi Skywalker, revealing to Obi-Wan that he sensed Anakin's growing pain and anger, suggesting that some terrible tragedy had befallen her. Therefore, with this reveal to Obi-Wan, it's clear Yoda was able to put the pieces together to discover why Anakin experienced such terrible pain during the events of Episode 2, inferring that the attachment Anakin was struggling with regarding Padme was the same source of the pain and rage he felt previously, only involving his mother Shmi. Yoda would eventually discover that his instincts were true, as when he sent Obi-Wan to Padme's apartment to end the relationship she had with Anakin, Obi-Wan would discover from the senator that Anakin's mother died while they were on Tatooine, and while she wouldn't reveal any more details than that, Obi-Wan brought this information back to Yoda. Importantly, Yoda didn't leave the matter there. As we mentioned earlier, the connection between the terrible pain he felt from Anakin and his mother's death would have indicated that Anakin was potentially on the path of the dark side, and Yoda's final words to Obi-Wan in these scenes from Wild Space are telling. Before Obi-Wan left, he was chilled by the grimness that had momentarily overtaken Yoda's voice and his bleak stare. Clearly, Yoda knew the situation was a serious concern and didn't hide it from Obi-Wan. The Grand Master then told Obi-Wan, attempting to impart some wisdom that could help him, that Anakin was going to face great challenges in the future. But most importantly, Obi-Wan's instinct would be to become Anakin's friend, as his heart would attempt to guide his Padawan sympathetically. But Yoda was adamant. That would be a mistake, as Anakin didn't need a friend but a master, and it was a master that Obi-Wan had to be. Interestingly, Obi-Wan would not accept this final advice, but that's a topic that deserves its own video. In Legends, it's clear the suffering, death, and terrible pain Yoda felt emanating from Anakin during Episode 2 was not ignored. It deeply concerned the Grand Master in the immediate aftermath of Geonosis, and as Yoda gained more information about Anakin's struggle with attachment, it became clear that what he felt during Episode 2 was connected to a terrible tragedy involving Shmi Skywalker. And after Yoda's intuition was proven correct, when Padme revealed Shmi died on Tatooine while Anakin was there, Yoda knew it was a dangerous blow and tried to mentor Obi-Wan accordingly. So there we have it, how Yoda discovered the reason for Anakin's terrible pain during Episode 2. Thank you very much to all of the Patreon members of Star Wars Reading Club, as your support is so greatly appreciated. You can find all of our social media links and a link to our Star Wars gaming channel in the description below for updates and even more Star Wars content. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for friendship.